a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day.
And a very special morning we do have. It is a terrific Thursday morning. That means we have Celebrity Home Loans in the house. Woo-hoo! That means we have Dennis Baxter and Autumn Hall. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
What a great morning, right? It's
awesome.
Warmer. It's a little bit
warmer. I noticed just a little bit of sprinkles out
Yeah.
there.
It was raining when I got here.
Oh,
It is raining.
Go back outside.
That's right.
Yeah, it is raining.
We were the early birds, you know.
You
we got
were.
the worm here, you know.
Well, you know, I've
Dennis
got
and
the
I.
kids. To
Yeah, I
drop
know.
off,
No,
and
I know.
That's
I know,
full
I know,
traffic.
I know. No, it does. Yeah.
I was thinking today, if you remember the old lawnmowers that you either had a turtle or you had a rabbit, like that was your speed.
Oh my gosh,
on
I
the
love that.
lawnmower?
Yeah.
Like this morning, I was thinking, listen, if you're on rabbit speed, let your kids ride the bus.
I love that. I
Let your
love
kids
that.
ride the bus.
Let the
on
kids.
it. You're always on rabbit
I
speed.
am. Well, if you're on turtle speed, let your kids ride the bus. I said that wrong. Yeah, I actually ran a red light yesterday.
Ooh,
I
do
was.
tell. We have police officers listening.
I know.
Dennis, this is
We're
going to
at
get
the
interesting.
station. Come get her. Come arrest her.
Well, like we're
Confessions.
driving.
Here.
We're driving. I think I told you this when I got to work that morning. And I'm sitting there, and you have the green arrow in the, right there by CVS, and they had the green turning arrow, and my brain just saw green. So I started going. Thank God nobody was turning. And I got about halfway through and the light turned green. But I was like,
Oh,
oh
well,
my God.
it was
I
a
just
pinkish.
ran a
It was
red
a
light.
pink, I was going into
Oh,
yeah.
my kids
Well-
were like, way to go, Mom.
Well, and sometimes at that light, if we're doing confessions, like there will be a big semi, and it'll be green, and then like by the time he gets through,
Yeah.
then it goes red, and you're following that semi because you didn't see it change.
Well, I was
So-
the first one in line. So.
Okay, well I'm trying to help you out, girl. You're on your own, and okay,
Yeah.
come and get her.
But
That's
I
exactly
saw
right,
green.
Dennis. Just come and get her. That's right.
I saw green. That's green means go. Just
Green
wasn't.
means you got to pay the court.
There you go. That's
It
exactly
just
right.
wasn't my green light.
Yeah, you
Right.
have to get into your green if you keep
Yeah.
on.
I hope Justin's not listening because I didn't tell him.
Well, he's going to be like, okay.
I can text him now.
We're going to thank our sponsors, Walmart, Meadowview Healthcare Center, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Celebrity Home Loans, Skyline Suites, Kentuckiana Cat and Cord, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, and Fox Purley Wealth Management. Thank you to our great sponsors. And we are very blessed to be here on this wonderful 16th day of December, a terrific Thursday. All right, let's go a recap. We've had a busy time of year. And, it seems like nothing slows down. It seems like October, we've just been going full throttle and no stopping. Want to say hats off to the Salem band, Bonnie Harmon.
Yes.
Went over to Walmart and they all dressed in these festive caroling clothes, and of course it was a fundraiser for Connor,
Yes.
and they sang, and it just I could have just stayed there forever, hours, just keep singing, just beautiful, and did such a great job. Or played. They played.
They
Sorry,
didn't
I'm sorry,
sing, did they?
sing.
I was gonna say they
Played.
Were, it's hard to sing and play an instrument.
Yeah.
Depends on what you
Okay.
Well,
Okay. Obviously, I need more coffee. I
They're
mean,
in the
in
band.
my head, I was seeing them play.
Yes.
Okay. I promise, but it was coming out singing. Okay.
Yes. And they did a great job. I was listening to some of the Facebook live streaming.
Yeah. I appreciate that because wasn't it just wonderful? It was just so good.
They did. She does a good job.
She does. And you think about, like learning, like you learn songs and like she'll learn she teaches them Queen. All the different songs, but like, of course, this was a specialty to learn all these Christmas songs, and you only have a little bit of a time frame to get this in, and you have to give a lot to a music teacher. and especially like one that when you first start out.
and to the students too, because
Yeah.
it's a dedication
Oh yeah,
after school.
But I'll
Mhm.
tell you,
true.
what, those band kids,
Yeah.
they are dedicated.
Yeah.
It's almost like cultish.
She's good. No,
I mean, not in a bad way,
no,
but
it's a
they
good
are.
thing.
They
They're
are
all in.
dedicated.
They are
and
all
they-
in. They are all in. And she makes it. I mean, it's like the shepherd sheep. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They want to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And the thing too, like you said, the after hours and the practicing and all that goes involved. And they're rock stars.
God bless those parents who listen as those kids learn in the beginning, because it's
Yeah.
rough.
And I think band is one of those things that you have to be so diverse, because also like when you compete like at a band concert,
Yeah.
like they'll throw you for a loop. They'll say like they're gonna up your performance, like you're gonna go an hour early. I mean, you have to be able to change on the
Right.
fly. I mean, these are teaching life lessons to these children that you might be going one direction and in a whole other direction go.
Yeah.
Just like of a morning,
And
being ready.
you think about it, they practice hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I know when Leah was in band, she talked about it'd be so hot the bottom of her tennis shoes would melt.
Mm-hmm.
And they would practice for hours for a 6-minute show.
Yeah. No, it's true.
I mean, that is.
Yeah, it's dedicated. Yeah, so hats off to them, and I love that. And it was one of those
sounded great. They did
Yes.
a great job.
purple. It was like a purple cow when you go in Walmart, and all of a sudden you see that. You know what I mean? It's like
I love the costumes.
I do too.
They were fun.
Yeah, I thought so too. And to get that many, that was very impressive. You know what I mean? Yeah, to get those.
They probably have them stored.
They
from
probably
like a
somewhere. I don't know.
Play or
Yeah,
something.
I'm gonna check out their closet.
Yeah.
I like clothes. Okay. Okay. So hats off to them. Then also last night had Mr. SHS Ty Sweeney pulled the win, and he was
Awesome.
super excited. And it was
He's a good kid.
He's a very good kid, and it was amazing. I love that they really the first place winner, the first place and second actually got some really nice prizes. They gave so it's something that if you have somebody that's in high school next year, you might want to encourage them to do this, and it puts them out of their comfort zone a little bit.
Do they volunteer or do they get nominated?
They volunteer.
Okay.
And then they find a sponsor, So
Okay.
it's kind of that's what they want to do, is really get some more people involved. You know what I mean? It's really so it's a little bit of a you have to learn to dance and 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 then you've got to have a talent, and so anyway, but it's really nice. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a good fundraiser for the Lady Lions. And that, of course, to go in tournaments, you have to pay, and your costumes, your uniforms, everything costs money. So, anyway, so it was a wonderful fundraiser. So a big night last night, but hats off to everyone that's involved. And I don't want to leave anybody out, but a good time for sure. Sure. All right, let's move along here and see what today is. Today is the 16th day of December. Today is Barbie and Barney Backlash Day.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay. Okay. For those that are, I guess, talking trash about Barney and Barbie. Okay.
You get your own day.
I know. There you go. Look at that. Yeah. I was thinking Barney, clean up, everyone do the chores or do their share. Clean up. Yeah.
Mom's cleanup song is "Clean it up before I get the garbage can."
There we go. It's going to happen. It's coming for you.
You're not gonna get it back.
And Barbie, she took a lot of backlash because of she wasn't realistic, like to make a
Her
Barbie.
body, yeah.
So they really tried to work on that.
But and I love the inclusion they have now, because I've seen, but as a kid, I never thought of that, because we did play Barbies,
Mhm.
and like that was not something we ever thought
No,
of. So I think sometimes you do have people making things bigger than what they need to be.
I agree. A little overthinking or
But
something. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't either. I had Barbie Dream House. I had Barbie stuff. And
I'm all for the inclusion, and it is neat. Like I get it.
now that could have been where I learned to fall in love with heels. Barbie could have made me fall in love with heels.
I love that Barbie can do anything.
Yeah, she can. Yeah.
Yes.
And now my Barbie, I had a Barbie that even had a baby. Did you ever have one of those? Yeah, they have Barbies that have babies.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah,
know.
mine.
We
No,
had
no,
the
I
little
didn't.
sister.
Dude, it's like I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, little sister.
Well,
and-
your girls have Barbies, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, they had their share of them. I had their share
Yeah.
of them, and that and everything else.
All right, today is also Boston Tea Party Day.
This
Yay!
is why we drink
Let's have a
coffee
tea
in
party
America.
today.
There we go. Exactly. There you
That's
go.
true.
Very good.
It's true.
Let's see here. This is National Chocolate Covered Anything.
Oh my gosh.
Dennis,
Oh my gosh.
what would I be bringing you if I was going to say, I'm going to chocolate cover something, Dennis, what am I bringing you?
Oh man. Nuts. Pretzels. Caramel.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, it's just line the candy bars up would be easy.
I like a good chocolate covered
Okay.
cherry.
Autumn, what about you? A good chocolate covered cherry?
Yeah, but I don't like the ones with I like the dried cherries, not the
Maraschino cherries.
not the ones you get in the box. Like I like the dried cherry, chocolate covered dried cherries.
Okay, yeah.
Like in the bags.
The ones in the box have that little white cream.
I hate that.
Okay, well.
I do.
Fun fact. There you go, fun fact. Yeah. What about those Christmas trees that are chocolate covered with the peanut butter? You know.
Oh, the peanut butter Reese's.
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah, anything Reese's.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. The ratio is just right.
I do love the pretzels with the Rolos.
Yeah.
And you melt that.
Oh. Tell them what's the recipe.
It's that literally that's it. You have, if I'm correct, you have the pretzel, you put the Rolo on it, you soften the Rolo, and then when it comes out, you take another pretzel and you push it down.
Ooh.
It's like a little sandwich.
I like little.
Now my stepson, his fiance, she cooks, and they were down over the weekend, and she takes Ritz crackers, and she takes chocolate, melts it down, puts mint in it.
Oh yeah,
and dips them like Thin Mints, and then puts then takes some more chocolate icing
and drizzles.
Well, she strings it like little lines on it, red and green, and them things are awesome. The family fights over.
We call those drizzles.
Drizzles, whatever you want to call it. It was awesome.
Yeah. That's poor man's Thin Mints.
Hey,
I love that. Yeah.
She told me she made 150 of them.
Oh my gosh.
The kids and the grandkids and everybody was fighting over them.
That's great.
Oh yeah.
Well, those are nice little things you can just pop in your mouth, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They just melt in your mouth.
I bet they do. I would have any of that. Well, because you kind of got your salty and your sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you think about it, you don't think of Ritz as being a dessert, but really it is.
It's just it's right there with the Thin Mints and the Girl Scout cookies.
Oh,
mint cookies. I mean, those are two of my favorites.
That's how I get my fix when it's not Girl Scout cookie season.
Thin Mints?
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
They're just
And then there was a dessert there over the weekend. So everybody knows what dirt pudding is.
Yeah.
You know, the Oreos and whipped cream. They had put in a mint custard in there.
Why didn't you bring any of this?
Wait, hold on. I want to hear. Okay, explain.
Explain it.
Go ahead. We got to have more details over here.
Well, it was the whipped cream and Oreo cookies, and the base in it was like a pudding custard that had mint flavoring in it. So it tasted like the Thin Mints. Because you had the Oreo chocolate cookies and the cream and everything else. It was like, everybody was fighting over that one too.
Well, you are
We'll invite her to our family Thanksgivings.
Do what?
So we're going to invite her to our family.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think she's got an invitation to mine. I think, and bring your dessert.
Bring
a couple of your desserts. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we had a good weekend.
Wow. She's coming in strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to the family. You're like, yes. When you get someone like that, that's a winner. Yeah, I've got a son-in-law that is really good with smoking meat.
Yeah. How'd that work out for Thanksgiving?
Oh my goodness, it was delicious. It was just it was he's definitely very, very good at this, and yes, very happy. We're very blessed to have him. Yes,
we'll let him stay.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Definitely a keeper. And he can smoke it. Yeah, he's wonderful in the smoker. But that turkey was delicious. Yeah, it was like none other. Yeah. All right, this is also, let's see. Ooh, stupid toy day. Anybody remember any kind of a stupid toy that now or in the past?
Most of them.
I saw somebody post on Facebook, and this is, I have to go find it. But now they have games, like board games for kids, centered around poop.
Oh yeah.
It's like, seriously, you guys.
No, I know. It's the emojis too.
Game.
Yeah, it is. Well, they have one with the emojis, and you fish for it. Yeah, it's who was thinking of this stuff? Can you imagine sitting around a board table? I mean, like a table, an executive table, and you throw out these ideas, and people, oh yeah, let's do that. Let's try that. So really, I don't know. Yeah. I think I don't know. I think it depends on the child of whether it's stupid or not. Some of the kids, like some of the toys, they they love them, and some of the
I love the simple toys where they can use their imagination.
Yeah,
I do.
Well, they came out real strong with the Paul Bunyan Lincoln logs. Have you seen those?
Mhm.
And I got some of those at Thanksgiving, and we built a log cabin.
I've got the real ones.
There you go. That's exactly right. Ours was a little bit easier to lift and to move and to
Yeah,
restructure, But anyway, so
I did buy those magnetic blocks.
Oh,
the
yeah.
building blocks.
Uh-huh,
They're magnetic. The kids really like those.
Yeah. And we like Legos. I mean, so
Yeah.
those are fun to to make and build and everything. So they've got a lot of good stuff.
There's a lot of good stuff that use your imagination. I think anything that makes them use their imagination is good.
I agree with that.
I mean, we got to teach these kids. It's the video games. That's probably the stupid stuff there.
Yeah, maybe some. Some of them.
Were you
are.
not a
That's
video gamer?
No, I was not a video gamer, and I played. Like I told some guys one time years and years ago. They were talking about one of these games they were playing, and I said, "Why do that? I'm an operator. I get it on a big excavator, and I rip and tear stuff up. That's the real stuff. Why do I want to sit on the screen and watch something that just kind of flip flops around there?"
I never was a video gamer, but I wasn't good at it.
Yeah.
Like I tried.
Yeah.
Like I remember when we got the Nintendo with the Mario games and the Duck Hunt, and I just
Pac-Man.
Yes,
I just really was not good at it.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah, it's not my. I'm not good at it either.
So I never was a gamer just because I stunk.
Yeah.
It's not fun if you can't win.
That's where I came to the conclusion. I
Yeah.
had we're trying to do the Pac-Man and stuff. It would give me, I would get upset because I didn't do well.
That's why Dennis doesn't like them.
Yeah.
Oh, that,
Well, yeah. I mean, we're kind of competitive
I
in
go
that
deep
way.
into this stuff.
Yeah, no, I
It's not a good
stunk.
conversation for me.
I stunk
There you
at
go.
it, so
Yeah. Well,
I wasn't good.
yeah. So for those that do have those ones that they feel are stupid, there you go. Enjoy for sure. We are getting closer and closer to Christmas. It's exciting, definitely. And
Well, today is actually also my parents' anniversary.
oh, well, happy anniversary.
So happy anniversary.
How many years?
15.
Oh, I love that.
So happy anniversary.
Oh, I love that.
They listening?
I don't know. Maybe.
You should have told them to.
I should have.
Yeah. Well, wonderful.
So they're going to French Lick tonight. That'll be fun.
Oh, that'd be fun for them.
Oh, and it's gorgeous over there.
Yeah.
The trees and everything, so beautiful. Oh, that's
Yeah,
nice.
so I get anniversary, birthday, because my mom's birthday is on Christmas.
Oh,
And then Christmas. It's like, well, you just really took the month of December, didn't you?
Yeah.
that is a lot. Yeah,
Like-
yeah. Well, hopefully they'll have something chocolate. 'Cause,
Maybe.
it's chocolate
There you go.
anything, so you just tell them
Chocolate covered.
covered anything.
Chocolate
So
covered.
maybe they'll have some chocolate over strawberries or something.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Could be.
Sounds good to me. I'd be in for that for sure. Well, good for them and happy anniversary. Love that. Keep love alive. Very good. All right. Speaking of some information. Okay, so this was interesting. So took a little jaunt this week, and on the plane they had a special going where you can open up a credit card.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
And get so many points to apply towards your next flight.
Yes. Okay. I want to understand that. This is where things like that, when you pop up, I didn't do it. I'm okay. I'm good. Don't go over here. What you do? What you do? Didn't do anything. I thought that was, when I was listening to it, I thought of you two, because I thought, I wonder what Autumn and Dennis would think about that, because there's one more thing. I mean, in everything you do, you get offered this stuff.
You do.
You
and
do.
I mean, and I'm thinking, even on a airplane, you get offered this stuff.
Which is crazy.
I mean, yeah, and
It's- so here, I have seen, there's shoppers out there, and I'm not going to go gender genetic on it. There's people that they're shopaholics.
smart man.
They're shopaholics.
Well, we've seen plenty of men
Oh,
who
man.
shop just as much as
Just
Oh, I
as
do
much, yeah.
believe that. I do. Yeah, I do believe that.
So every time they see something like that, they go crazy for those points, and they will come in, and there's, and they'll make all their payments. They will do everything right, but their credit will be in the tank. I mean, literally the tank. And some of them can't even get a.
How would that be if they're making their
That's
payment?
where we're heading.
Okay,
Go
hang
in.
on, Becky.
Every time you get your pet credit pulled, it's a ding on your credit score. And when you look and you pull up a credit report and there's 50, 60, 70 of them pulled in 1 year, it takes it to the tank and it keeps it there. And that's why we say, get you 1 or 2 cards and stop. Just
Yeah.
stop.
I would say on that, so this is kind of my thought on that, on an awards flight credit card. If you are a frequent flyer,
A real frequent flyer.
if
Like
you,
your job.
yes,
Yes.
like if that is something that you travel a lot,
then it's worth it.
it's not a bad deal.
Mhm.
But again, it comes down to you only get points by booking flights.
Mhm.
So why apply for a credit card if you only fly once a year?
Yeah, my daughter and her husband, he's got a business, and he flies and travels across the country, 2 or 3 times a month.
Oh.
And they get
Oh.
enough points every year that usually they get 1 or 2 free tickets, and that's when they go on vacations. So something like that, it's okay.
If
But
you're going to use it.
otherwise, it's not.
Right. No.
And this kind of leads into something that we were talking about. What were we going to talk about today? And we had a training this week on fraud and identity theft.
Oh, I love that.
And credit cards is one of the most prominent forms of fraud, and it's 20%.
Yeah.
20%.
Could you imagine giving your personal
So-
information on a plane
So
10,000 feet up in the air?
yeah, and one thing that I hadn't thought about. And we had a video training this last week. It's kind of what brought it up. And we're always getting this stuff from work, and also the gal that was giving the class, she said she realized, so she was on Amazon or somewhere buying something,
Yeah.
or one of the websites, and she went to pay for it, and it took her to a different page. And then she realized the top of the page was not a secure website, and was not part of it was a scam. They're about ready to take her identity.
Or information.
And this is getting to a big deal. So,
Yeah.
do you know how to tell if a website is secure or not? Becky? So, if you look at the top where your HTTP is, it's got to have an S. If there's no S, there's not a secure site. And then if you hover over, like on an email, a name, it should pop up and tell you who it is. If it doesn't, then that's probably fraudulent. It's an overname. It's an overlay on something else.
Oh, this is so good information. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And just since COVID, and here was the one thing that I heard about.
I
I
can't
remember this
No,
stuff.
I love that. No, that's
So,
wonderful.
How much? Everybody make a guess. How much did fraud go up during COVID?
Oh, I can't even imagine. I hate to think that. It just.
Make the wildest guess you can think
Are we
of.
talking percentage or?
Yeah, percentage. What was the percentage?
I'm gonna say 70%.
Would you believe you're not even close? You're like a dot on that. 2,917%.
No way.
Yeah, almost 3,000%.
Yes.
No way.
Just during fraud alone.
Because
How?
everybody's shopping online.
Yes.
Nobody's leaving. Everybody's
So-
shopping
so
online.
just-
Everybody's,
Just be careful. It's really got crazy.
Well, and one of the things that they brought up that, I thought was interesting, not just shopping, but now everybody's doing, like, even last night, I just got a phone call because last night at 8 o'clock, I'm the only person in the world who has poison ivy in December. And I'm grossly allergic to it.
Oh,
So
sure.
at 8 o'clock, I'm emailing through my doctor's portal, hey, I need to get in. I have poison ivy,
Which I'm over here itching now.
Yeah, well, they called me this morning. But one of the things that she brought up, even like medical stuff, like people who would go get COVID testing or who would, apply for that would get emails or phone calls saying, like she said, my buddies filled out all the paperwork for COVID, couldn't wait 3 hours, comes home, has an email that says, hey, you tested positive, click here, we need all your information for contract tracing, stuff like that. Well, that is something that they did.
Mm-hmm.
He never got tested, though. So had he clicked on that and put all that, that was a scam to take his identity. So they're even hitting medical things. I mean, it's crazy.
This is good information.
Yeah,
this is
so
good information.
I mean, that's the thing we talk about. They harp on this. Don't open emails, especially that.
You don't know if you're not expecting it. Don't open it.
And if you are, like Amazon, they said Amazon was one of the big ones right now. Like you get those emails that say, oh, there's been a compromise with your Amazon Prime account or your payment information. I mean, like Dennis said, hover over that because it will pop up the true email that it comes from. Or worst case scenario, go to Amazon directly and go to your account directly through the web page itself. So don't click any links.
Yeah, it's just got crazy. Now the thing is, don't write your Social Security on anything. And if
And I did
And
not
then
know
really-
you did not need that for medical.
well, for medical or anything,
You don't need
or-
that anymore.
Yeah, they don't need that.
Those
So-
are old, outdated forms.
Forms
You do
and all-
not have to put your
yes.
social on it.
On nothing. So the only time you really need somebody needs your social is to verify your identity, and you better make sure you know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, now like what we do, we have to verify. We're required by the federal government. The banks have to.
But
But-
even now, as a caveat on that, even now we don't have to actually ask for your social security card. You sign a
Yeah.
form
And we
saying
verify
this is my social, and we send it directly to Social Security for them to verify,
verify.
so that you're not even passing your social security card.
Yeah, anymore. We don't scan them. We just need the number.
Yeah.
And just put it in the app in a computer that's secure and all. But it's there's very, very few things in this world that really need your Social Security. So just think about that. Don't
Yeah.
And really, even driver's license. I mean, the only place that needs your driver's license number is if you get a ticket and get pulled over in the courts.
Or the title company, they need it
Or the title
for
company.
Patriot Act.
Yeah, now they get stuck in the Patriot Act,
Yeah.
which means they have to verify who you are, and your identity. You are who you say you are.
But okay, on this end,
Mhm.
for people, when you get asked that, you don't know that you don't need that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Just say
that's
no.
where but it's easy, and this is good
It is.
information because it's easy to just go ahead and we do tend to trust.
Well,
We do, and there's customers that come in and they will give us the third degree. Why? Why do you need this?
yeah.
And then we sit down, and we explain to them, and show them, and then they're okay with it.
And here's the thing: if somebody gets upset that you're asking questions,
That's their
in
problem.
my opinion, if I'm asking you why you need my information and you get mad at me, then that's a red flag that you're not a legitimate person.
Mhm.
Now, if you come into me and you're, like that's kind of my thing, because I have gone through the whole application with somebody where I have all their personal information, and then they're like, no, don't pull my credit. And then it's like, well, then why are you here?
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
But I don't get mad.
Yeah.
It's just, well, then we're at a standstill. But like the phone calls, I've been called. Well, we need to verify your social. No, you don't. No. Or we need we need your 16-digit credit card number. You called me. Why don't you tell me what you have and I'll verify?
There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah.
And then that's when they get,
They get
and it's
the
like,
things
well,
Yeah.
then you're not true.
Right.
No,
Right.
bye.
Well, this is so good. This must be a God thing or something, because we just had the sheriff on yesterday, and also our major from the city of Salem, Eric Mills, and our sheriff Britt Miller, and that was one thing they were talking about was identity
Oh.
theft, and this is going around really big, and of course it hits, of course, during COVID, during the holidays,
It's big in
and
the holidays,
people are
especially.
and they were telling like some of the scams, the calls and stuff that
Mhm.
people are receiving, and of course now they make them like the 812-883.
Oh, now they have,
They look local.
yes.
And you pick up the phone, and
I have been called back.
Oh yeah.
I
Pick it
have
up and
gotten
it's your
phone
own phone number.
calls.
When do you say? When do they do that, Becky? To you, you pick it up and you look at it. It's your own phone number calling you.
But I have been called too by people who have said, "Hey, I have a missed call from you.
Oh yeah.
I never called you. But this is who
Oh,
I
that's
am. This
every
is what I do. No, I never called you. So and I've called phone company. Like, you can't stop them from doing that. There's no way to stop them from using your number.
right.
We
right.
can't trace them for one.
Right. Well, and I think we've got to make sure that anybody that's had identity theft and been a part of that,
It's a mess.
it's been so sad, and it's so hard to get it cleaned up, and it's such a mess. And actually, I'm going to say nobody got time for that. You know what I mean? It
can be very time consuming.
and it's very sad, and it's very heartbreaking, and it's a lot of unnecessary, undue stress.
Yeah.
So that's where, if we can avoid it, don't be starting nothing, there won't be nothing. You know what I mean? Or nip it, just like Barney Five used to say, nip it in the bud.
Nip it.
Yeah. So before it gets where and these are great tips and everything. So going back on this, I love that you guys are taking these classes, and I love that you're staying fresh and staying new, and they're telling you some of the latest
Mhm.
trends that you're seeing. That's what a great wealth of information for you guys.
Oh, our IT department. I mean, there's something comes from. They know everything that happens that's new out there. We get notices almost weekly of, watch out for this scam, watch out for
Yeah.
that scam. This is what we're saying.
Well, and this
Yeah.
is fun. So I did not realize this. But I had pulled credit on a customer, and I've been working with them for a while. And about 2 days later, she Facebook messaged me, and she's like, "I didn't realize your job was so competitive." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" Like, I mean, it is, but what are you?
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if you have this right now, but what happens, we do not share your information due to privacy. Right there. I know where he's going.
Someone spit my coffee out. Wait,
So-
hold on. Wait, Dennis starts crapping at his notes.
I wrote it down.
Okay.
So,
I got it.
we don't share your information.
Right.
The credit bureau does.
They
And
sell it.
you have other
they
companies
sell it.
who buy leads.
Yeah.
And basically it's hey, you're in this range. We want people who are from a 680 to a 740 range, and they buy the leads and they get your information. She said, I've been called like by 5 people saying, hey, we hear you're shopping for a loan.
There's a lot of companies that do mortgage. They thrive on refis, and they're dialers. They just got a bunch of loan officers sitting down, dialing, and getting people on the phone. And where they get these numbers is just like she's saying. They can go to the credit bureaus and they can say, I want 100,000 names in these zip codes of this state, and these are my parameters. And
we're not selling it. Don't call. I mean, call us because we don't want to lose you. But at the same time, it's like we have people. I've had people call angry. You sold my information. Well, no, I didn't. But I don't want to give you away.
Yeah.
So you can go.
That should be illegal. Why do they not stop that?
Because the credit bureau needs money.
They're private enterprises, and it's nothing that's been tackled. I mean,
It's
it's called hot leads because, like we're
Yeah,
sitting
they're
there,
looking.
and we pull your credit. The system knows that we're a mortgage company, and we're pulling for a mortgage credit.
Credit,
So
yeah.
they'll sell that to somebody that wants to buy hot people that's had credit pulls that are triggered that are hot mortgage leads or cards or whatever.
So, and it's cards, it's cars, it's everything. Well, I don't know about everything, but I know it's mortgages for
But
sure.
here's what you can do. Go ahead, Autumn.
Okay.
You can go, and I have been using, and this will actually, I used to use this with people, and I had forgotten about it until I
had too.
rewatched
I
it.
hope someone, anybody that, this is good information. Hope somebody's got pen and paper. I hope they're doing what you're doing, Dennis, and taking notes on this.
Take
This
notes.
is-
So
yeah,
you
okay.
can go to opt out, OPTOUT, prescreen, PRESCREEN.com, and you can choose to opt out of these alternative offers. Basically, it's basically like a do not sell my information list. And you can, not that that works anymore, but you can opt out for either 5 years or life.
Oh,
Do it. You just tell everybody to do it.
you have to pay?
No.
It's free. The credit bureaus have to do that. That's
Yeah.
federal law.
So you can, again, it's optoutprescreen.com. Should be secure. Should have an HTTPS
Up
at
there
the
on
top. But you put in, and I don't think you have to do your social. I think it's your name, your address, maybe your birth date. But then you can opt out, and they cannot have your information.
So that's the way to fight back.
That's the way to fight back. Now, that being said, because I did this way back 2006, 2007.
Oh, I did too. And I
But
forgot
if you apply for credit cards, so for example, we have a Chase card. We applied for that. That kind of removes that from Chase. So now Chase, in this example, Chase is free to send me offers for their additional cards because I'm already their customer. So you may still get junk mail, but because I am their client, I'm on that umbrella, they can still send me stuff.
Well, and that's in their system because it'll
Yes.
flag in their computer.
So you can't get mad if you're like, well, I'm getting these card notifications from a company I'm already with.
Right.
That doesn't save you from that.
No.
It does save you from companies that you are not a client with.
Right. Or have
Sending
no
you
intentions
offers.
of ever being a
So
caller.
I actually plan on opting my children out so that they do not get credit card offers at 17 and 18 years old.
That's wonderful.
And
Okay.
you can-
So
So
you can do that as a
You can do that as a parent.
as a
Right.
parent.
And
I
you can
love
put a-
that.
You can put a freeze on it
You
too.
can put a
call the
freeze
bureau,
on
put a
your
freeze.
kids'
That
now.
way they can't be scammed because now they're one of the big scammers.
Yes.
They're the one that's being scammed.
Kids are being targeted. So
That's the
2
next-
years ago, the credit bureau said you can now freeze your children's.
How early can you do that?
As
Really?
when they have a
Should I do
social
this?
security number, they technically
The minute
are
you
in the
file a
system.
Social Security number, go do it.
And so will that, okay, so let's say that you put that freeze on your child, which I love that. Because how many college students go and they get that and they don't think about it and everything,
Mhm.
everybody like
It's
has,
amazing.
yes. Okay, so let's say you put that on there. Then when they do want to buy a house or make a
You
purchase,
have to unfreeze it.
you just unfreeze it.
Just don't fix it.
And
It does take about 24, 48 hours.
okay.
But
But then it unfreezes and then
they're fine.
and you can freeze your own account, and that's not a bad deal either.
But okay, what about let's go back over the life. Let's say that you take your child and you put them on that lifetime no call zone,
Yeah.
so to speak. Then
That's
they
fine.
that's not going to hurt. I mean,
Hey,
you don't have to.
there's
There's no freezing, so you just
No.
have to. Then
Opt
when they
out
do
free.
want to,
Yeah.
They just
And
don't tell the information.
then what happens? So, like, if I opt my kids out, which I just thought about that, and it's really a great idea. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I just thought about it as we were talking about it. But that means they will not get credit card offers.
which is wonderful that they don't.
Because
Yes.
I remember at 18 years old,
Yeah.
Oh,
getting things in the mail, you're pre-approved.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, how do they even have my information? Who knows? But here it is, so I'm going to apply.
I can't tell you how many young 20-year-olds we get that, well, you got a charge card on here or two of them, and it says you're at the limit and you've never made a payment and you've had it for 4 years. Yeah, I got that in high school or right out of high school, and they give me free money and I never paid it back. Well, I didn't have to.
You have
the
to.
mindset.
You'll pay the
And
piper
they get 'em.
eventually.
wow. This is good information.
So those are two very good tools that you can use to, protect your kids,
I
protect
don't think
yourself.
people know that.
And I've seen that. I've seen it happen. I've seen people come in. I've seen the early 20-year-olds again that have had their identities stolen when they were 14, 15, 16
Yeah.
years old.
Yes,
I've seen family members do it,
Because
too.
then you get stuff that it's like, wait a second, you're 20. How do you have this credit card that was opened 5 years ago? You legally can't open one at
Yeah.
15. Well, I don't know. I didn't know that was on there. Well, then it turns out mom or
Social
dad
Security.
or aunt or uncle or somebody did it in their name.
Yeah.
And I mean, those, it kind of stinks. We can fight them, but it is a fight to get it removed because when it's verified, it is verified to their name, their social, their date of birth. And it's like, well, look at the date of birth. It was open. That's on you. Like,
Yeah.
you can't fight it, but it is, it's hard.
Yeah.
Wow. And you're talking like making phone calls and then being put on hold and then, those are just.
So I can go back. I know someone that was had her identity stolen when she was like 21 or 2 years old in the military, and this was back in the early 80s. And she was in the military, and she worked in an office type situation. And another girl in there took her identity when she got transferred somewhere else, and they had bought a car with her name, a couple of cards, and some other stuff, and never make payments on. Oh, it haunted her. I know a good 25 years to 30. It kept popping up, and they had been reported, and it had been investigated by the military because it did happen at the military. They found out who done it, and the person spent time in jail, and her credit report got sponged and all, but it still popped up because those accounts kept getting sold and sold and sold. And they kept coming around trying to collect off her for years, and then it's finally died off as far as I know. But then it was a big hassle. I can't imagine today with all the technology and everything.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
So it can make a mess out of your life.
Do you know how often someone's identity is stolen?
It's not a good one.
Guess. Just take a while.
Oh, you guys, I'm terrible over here. I don't know.
I missed it. When I was listening, I guessed, and I was
What did you
completely
guess?
wrong. I guessed probably about every 35 seconds. Was my guess.
That's a lot. I mean, that's
It's more than that.
It's every 2 seconds.
every 2 seconds.
Someone's
Oh.
identity is stolen every 2 seconds.
So all these calls and all this stuff they're doing is working. People are biting. People are letting it happen. So
Every
Well,
2 seconds.
If they would use, this is why I've always said that creative mind that they
For
have
good?
for good, wouldn't that be like a superpower? Wouldn't that be a blessing?
they can solve the world. We can solve a lot of the world problems.
Max and I were just talking about this morning, which this is kind of off topic, but we were talking about Hitler. They're learning about World War II and
Uh-huh.
stuff, I guess, in school. So he's been asking questions about Hitler, and he's like, "Mom, he was kind of a genius." And I was like, "Yeah, he really was. If only he would have used his powers for good."
Yeah, I've heard other people say that.
You know, like he.
Yeah.
But yeah, if that's the thing, if people would just take their intelligence and their genius and use it for good instead of hurting people, because
Right.
and that's what they said. Right now, kids have been targeted, but also married women was a high class of identity fraud. Married women.
Wow, that's interesting. Well, I think it's too that it's very sad that it has been taken advantage of like that,
Yeah.
and it's sad for the person. I mean, and
It's a mess.
yeah, that's just and it's it seems like they always like keep it creative, and they've really gotten so good at
They've
it,
gotten very tricky.
tricky
Oh,
at
yeah.
it, and it's heartbreaking. It's very sad.
I mean, and you just need awareness on it. Like, that's the thing. And I know we've talked about this before. Some of that comes back with common sense. I mean, if you're getting a phone call, a lot of times though, okay, listen, like even last night, I'm making dinner, taking care of the kids, still trying to work. I'm on the phone. If somebody calls me in the midst of all of that and starts asking questions, I may not be 100% focused.
Right.
And I may get halfway through before something triggers that, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. Right.
Something's not right here. Why are you,
Well, that's not.
So
all the people that have student loans, and I can't imagine, dealing with life and you're paying your student loans. And, back in the days, I paid cash for all mine. Now, my parents, we weren't rich by any means, but Dad made sure that I got it paid for. We took care of it. There's not a month goes by that I don't get 2 or 3 phone calls. We can help you with your student loans, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, if you got real student loans, that's going to trip a trigger in your mind.
Yeah,
sure.
But
Absolutely.
if it's something you have not went out and seeked yourself, shut that phone off. Don't answer it. Don't say anything, because they can ask you a question and get you to say yes. And when you hang up, they can put that as you said yes to something else, because they can tie that.
We've seen that too.
That's another fraud. So don't talk to them. Don't answer them. Other than tell them go fly a friggin' kite.
And
hang up.
And that's the
Dennis
other
told me to
thing.
tell you this.
Well, and that's the other thing that now they're saying, like, do not say yes
No.
on a phone. Use correct. Use
If they say,
affirmative. Use something else, but do not use the word yes.
if they say, is this Dennis Baxter? Respond. You're the one that called me. You tell me.
Or even a this is he, this is she. Don't say yes.
Now, if you want to have fun, particularly on the credit
I
card, she's heard this one before.
I told you this.
Okay, I love
Well,
it.
and I had a friend that did this too.
Yeah.
So he had a credit card company wanted to give him a credit card, and he got, and they were asking him, and said, yeah, I said I'd like to have that. They were going to give him $50,000 limit credit card.
It's crazy.
So he goes on and he answers their questions with garbage, and carries it on. And they get to near the end. He doesn't carry this guy on for 15, 20 minutes on the phone. The guy thinks he's going to make a sale for a credit card. And he goes, how long is it going to take me to get this card? Well, it'll take you like a week. No, I can't. I've got to have this thing in 3 days, because on such and such day, I'm filing bankruptcy. And the phone went click.
Oh my
You should not
God.
be willing to do that.
Yeah.
If you want to harass somebody and waste their
That's
time,
fine.
yeah, you can leave them on.
Well, I thought you were
That's
going with the credit card companies that want to lower your rate.
Oh, yeah, them too. Yeah, they always want to lower credit cards that I don't even have. It's like, really? I don't even have an account there.
I'm always like, hey, I tell you what, you can go, because I have a couple that, they have like that 0%,
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can go lower than 0%. Like,
Oh, yeah. I've
hey,
done that
you're going to
before.
pay me
Oh my God.
to spend your money? Like, let's do it. And they're,
It goes click again.
No, I
they
can only
don't,
imagine.
and now I don't even get called anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of,
Now, that's another good one.
That's-
You're going to lower my rate? Well, I've got 0.
yeah.
You mean you're going to get a less? Pay
That
me?
is great.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
they don't
doing.
like that. They don't like that at all.
No, that's wonderful. But I think you bring up some really good points, and I don't think like, well, I'll say, and I think everybody in the room here, our minds don't think like that. We don't. I mean, we're
Yeah.
not that what they're coming up with. Again, their minds and where they're.
We're all right back to what you started with. Give me points for the surface flight. It's just another gimmick, and there's so many of them out there.
If it's too good to be true,
it probably is.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not against reward cards, but again, if you're going to have them, be responsible. Because here's the thing, if you really look into like those points for airline tickets, reward cards, it's like 1%. So you have to literally spend, check my math, $1,000 to get 100 points.
And then
to which if you cash it in, it's only $1.
And then you're paying 24% on the card.
So yes.
So you get 1 point, they're charging you 24.
And here's something else that I didn't realize this, but Justin is in retail. They retail hate reward cards because they get charged more to accept them. So your vendors, your retail, your Walmart, your Target, your mom and pop stores,
Okay.
they have to accept credit cards. They have to pay.
Yeah.
They pay a percentage to accept that. So if they sell you something for $5, they may be paying 50 cents to accept that card.
I used to have a business, and they charged me on our card machine anywhere from 1% to 3%.
Yeah.
So now they're giving points away. They're charging.
They're charging more. So now if you use a rewards card, instead of them paying 50 cents to accept your card, they may be paying $1.50. And so, yes, it's nice to have these rewards, but if, on the flip side, it is costing our retailers more to use it. And the government has said you can't not accept cards. And by the way, you can't charge a fee to use a card.
So, like one of our gas stations right here in town, you pay cash, it's 10 cents less than if you use a card.
They can do that. They can get around it that way. They can give you a cash discount.
So that's why you see that. And that's where that came from.
And so really what is happening is they're bumping up prices to cover the fees.
Well, they have to.
And I'm not against that.
Yeah. Right,
but I'm saying, keep that in mind, because really, again,
convenience is costing you again.
Yes. And again, I'm not against, if you are a frequent flyer and you are, I'm not against those things. If I have a rewards card, I do use it. I cash in my points, but I just cashed in points and it took me 3 years to save them up. Is it really worth it? No. At the end of the day, not really. I'm not living off of it. It's nice if they accumulate, but I'm not living off of it. Just so think about that. Like on those rewards, you're going to pay more in the long run. And if you're not paying it off, like I can pay it off every month. So I'm not worried about, I'm not paying that 24% interest. But if you're not paying it off every month, you're actually paying more for it. So just kind of keep that in mind. If it's too good to be true, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's not. It's not worth it.
Now, okay. I didn't want to go ahead. Was there something else then too? Because this is good information. I didn't want to.
No, I mean,
okay.
It's
okay. I got a question. Okay, so when a person, and this isn't, I'm just asking on this. When a person has their credit pulled up, because you're saying every time you pull up your,
you do get a hit.
You get a hit. Okay, so why do they do that? What if a person? Why do they do that? Why do they?
Well,
it goes back, and the theory behind it. So when the calculations were developed back in the 50s to rate credit scores, to generate them, this is a math equation that does it. The theory behind it, the more times someone shops, and they do it continuously, then when people get into financial trouble, then the natural response, knee-jerk, is go get a bunch of cards and get some money, borrow money to pay money, borrow money to get out of debt. You cannot borrow money to get out of debt. So when credit pulls start popping up,
I think that was an advertisement years ago. I think they kind of advertised that way. Okay,
probably
put a little bookmark right there. I'm just saying. I think that was and for those that didn't know that was okay.
So you end up end up with a lot of credit pulls, it starts knocking your score down, and it's that red flag. Because that red flag to the lenders. Because we see it's on the credit report. There's a section that shows and depends on how we set it up.
18 to 24 months sometimes.
We can see up to if we set our system up, we can pull 90 days, 6 months, or up to like 2 years, and we can tell every time you had your credit pulled, and that becomes a red flag. And so that's why it's there. That's why it does it. Now,
and it takes 30 days for something to report. So you could ideally, I'm going to jump in there. You can ideally go open 4 credit cards. Like if you go shopping, Kohl's, I can open a card at Kohl's and use it that day with the number they print out. JCPenney, use it that day. I can go get 4 or 5 credit cards in a week time, max them out, and it doesn't even report to my credit bureau for 30 to 45 days. But the pools will.
The pools show up.
The pools do.
The pools meaning
I can see that Kohl's and JCPenney and Walmart and Synchrony Bank all pulled your credit this day. What's going on?
Because it goes directly to the credit bureau.
Okay, so what you're seeing, I'm just trying to, so then what you're seeing with all these pools in, that they're taking out a lot of your credit cards and they're actually taking a lot of.
So then what I'm seeing on my credit bureau, your debt is not accurate. Because if I'm pulling credit on December 16th, and you opened all of these credit cards on December 5th, that's not going to report to the credit bureau yet, but I have 5 credit card pulls. Did you put debt on these? Did you open these up? And is there a balance on these things? Because then my credit bureau is not accurate. And that can be a big problem, especially when you're shopping for a mortgage.
Right. And, okay, so let's say this. Let's say that they give you the deal, so much off. I think we've talked about this before.
Yes.
So much off if you open up a credit card. So that if somebody opens that up, but they don't use it, but they open it up to get their discount off, that's still a ding because you opened up.
It is still a hard pull.
Yeah.
Now, if that's the case, and I just had this happen on one with the one I closed yesterday, they opened an Amazon card, never used it. So thankfully, we were able to get the statement or the bill that shows, oh yeah, this was a 0 balance. Okay, no big deal. Because I'm not going to re-pull your score per se.
And just, and your card balances and your account balances, and we've talked about this before, so the wider the spread, the higher the score. So, if you've only got 2 or 3 credit pulls in a year, it's really not going to affect your score. It's those people that have it pulled every single month. Now, the other side of the coin is when you go down to your friendly car dealership and you go buy a car and you finance it there, they're going to send your application to 10 different banks and lenders to get you the best option, and you're going to have 10 pulls. But as long as you, supposedly, as long as you buy it within 30 days, then that's treated afterwards as one pull. Now, that time, it shows all them dings, but the accumulation within a time frame on automobiles and homes, it reacts later on your credit bureau as one hit.
Because they do encourage you to shop around for the best rate.
Right.
But you're going to take a ding first.
You take a ding, but that ding lasts for like a month.
But at the same time, I've seen it where people have shopped. They went to 1 or 2 other banks trying to shop rates, and they come in. And of course, we have to. Your rate is one of the factors on your rate that we can give you is your credit score.
Yeah.
So we have to pull it, and they have told me, well, such and such. Here's the 3 bureaus. Here's what the scores were, and when we pull it up, it'll be the same. So we know they're not getting dinged, and we know they're pretty accurate. But now on the other side, if they're one we see a history of pulls, there might be a point or 2 difference. But in theory, they should always be the same.
Yeah, and we've done that. Like there have been people that, we have repulled. I've had to repull within 30 days for one reason or another. And sometimes their scores are fine. Like there's not a difference.
It all goes back to their cards again.
Yeah.
What's the balance on the card? So they can change it every month. You can change it. We've seen people make 40, 50 points difference in 30 days.
Right.
Just by going and say, pay these cards down, pay them down to here. And we tell them what to do. And they'll get them paid down. And then when everything reports again, that score will be bumped up.
And that makes you so happy.
Or if they
isn't that a blessing?
I love them to listen. I do.
And
then you also have you can just as a note, when you go to the car dealership, if you are looking for a car, I know the dealership themselves, and I know this because I just did this year. The dealership themselves have to pull your credit, and I think they do that to see if it's worth their time, which is fine. But you can say, listen, You should know who your best bank is. Send it to them and to them only. I do not want 10 or 12 pulls. I will give you 2 for your company and for your primary lender. Do not pull my credit 10 times. Actually, we did get up and walk out of a dealership this year because our credit was pulled multiple times. And
Oh, I can see just a bit.
that was a
You
fun.
didn't do what I told you.
And
he has every right.
now here's the thing.
How do you
Now,
find out that quick?
because
On the phone.
you have Credit Karma, and that will register. You can email so-and-so pulled your credit.
Oh.
So-and-so pulled your credit. You have a new alternative, or you have a new credit pull. And after the third one, he got up and he found the manager and he said, "You lied to me. We're done."
Oh, wow.
Like, now I have 3, 4, and we ended up having like 5 pulls on her credit.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, that's not what we that's not what we agreed to. That's not what we discussed.
Oh, this is good information.
And so then when we went to the place that we went to get the van, it was, this is what's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, we will walk away. Like,
And we have no trouble doing that.
we don't. And thankfully they were great. And
That's
you know,
good. Well, that's really
so,
good.
but it happens.
I did not know that. I mean,
You can tell them you are not to pull my credit.
Obviously, I've not done anything in a long time, but
Yeah.
that's very interesting for sure. And
I mean, and there is a place, just like we talked earlier. Yes, they do have to pull your credit. They do. And if you are okay saying, I mean, because that was one of the things they said, hey, we'll only pull your credit once. I'll send it to the best, but then I can't guarantee that is the best rate if I can't shop around, which is typical.
so some might want them to do that.
Right. And
But-
if so,
but
that's fine.
But on your end, you knew.
I
You
knew.
knew what.
Yeah.
That you did have a good rate, but possibly they have one other place to try.
Yeah.
So
And
you
when
gave
you go
them
in there
2.
and you say, I know, or then you can take your own credit report in. I know my score's 750 or my score's 780. Just send it to those that want those premium borrowers. And you'll get a better rate. That's where your better rates come from. You're not going to get them anywhere else. Because the other guys are
This
bottom
is-
feeders.
So actually, before you go to purchase, because 2 of the biggest things you'll ever purchase is a home and a vehicle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So before you go into a home to purchase a home, or before you go into a vehicle purchase, you do your homework.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can even, because really, here's the thing. Your companies are shopping your credit unions. Like, my Jeep payment is with Evansville Teachers Federal Credit Union. That's who I pay my payment to. Like, and I have seen where people come in and they're with Centra Bank. They're with, you know what? If that's the case, go to them first, and then you have one credit pull, and then you can say, hey, now you're probably not going to walk away with it that day. You may have to say, hey, give them the VIN number. They'll send you the money tomorrow. I'll come back and pick it up. Like, there is that delay. But you can go and get pre-approved at your local credit union or your local bank and say, I want a vehicle. This is what I'm looking at.
Right.
And then you walk in and you say, hey, call my banker. I'm already approved. They'll send you the money, but it might take a couple days, because it isn't that quick.
Right.
It may take a couple days.
And then watch the finance guy that's in that car dealership. Now, I'm not trying to ding them. I mean, it's
No, they're doing the
It's
job.
business. But these banks pay those companies for these deals, and they'll give them a little kickback, $200, $300, $400. So he's going to say, well, I can probably shop over here, and he's going to try to use his places so that they generate a little more income. But it's like, tough dude, I've already got my approval. This is who I'm using. This is my bank. This is my right. You have the right to pick who you want to finance with.
Yes.
You have that right. So, and it's just like, extended warranties. They get money. They get paid for that stuff. And it is good. They are good. They'll help. You're just prepaying your repairs, particularly if you're going to have a long time. But they're flexible with that stuff.
Yeah. And again, we're not bashing them. This is their job, and they will. I mean, I have good rates on my vehicle. Like, I do.
If I don't get the best, I don't do it.
Yeah.
So that is their job, but you can limit it. But most importantly, just be prepared.
Mhm.
Like, if you're going to go in and you need a car that day, yeah, you're probably going to go through 5, 6, 7 different pools because you're going to want to walk out that day. Well, if you know that and you're aware, okay.
Mhm.
But just know your options
Yeah.
and be
That's
aware.
what I love. I love options. And I think that's so. This is, and it's not bashing anybody. Everybody's got their jobs to do,
and they do their jobs well.
Yeah, but it's good to know, and I don't think I don't think we know this stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think to realize that there are options, and to realize that you do have, have say in some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think and I think that, to me, if you're dealing with a car dealer or a house or somebody, I think that's nice. To me, I'd love a customer that's informed.
Yeah.
And know, and so therefore we've already got this established. You know, what's available. You know what I can do and what, or what.
Right. And then you do have that place for, okay, what are your overlays, or this is what I'm seeing. Can you do this, or do you have different stipulations?
Mm-hmm.
Because some of them may have different stipulations, and that is a legitimate thing. You got to have leeway for that.
Right. Well, it's good information for sure. And I think that, and there are people buying houses. There are people buying cars. We know that. And that's
not slowing down.
I mean, it is happening, and so, and doing credit cards and doing shopping or whatever. And I think just to make sure that if I love that you make sure that website is secured.
Yes.
Look for the S. And
the other thing they said, and I'm going to throw this out there, I know we're running out of time, but the other thing they said, and I did not think of this, do not mail things in your mailbox.
Oh yeah, that would flip me.
Take it to the post office, and thankfully, here we have 2 right there by the post office. You don't even have to get out of your car, but it's locked. But they said, do not mail your bills, even like if you're mailing Christmas cards, a lot of times people put checks in Christmas cards. Do not mail that from your house. Mail them from the post office.
Because too many of them the mailboxes are getting raided.
Oh, that's sad. That's very sad. And
that it's happening.
Yeah. And that's illegal.
Yeah.
But it's happening.
They can steal your identity with that information.
So the moral of the story is, if you've got Christmas cards, drive over to Santa Claus, Indiana, and put them in the mailbox, and then they'll come from Santa Claus.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what.
Get that Santa Claus line stamp on there. Kids will be thrilled.
Absolutely. So we'll adults.
Won't be mad at us today.
I think that's good information. So do not put your stuff in the mailbox.
If you're nothing that has any private information or money or anything like that, take it to the post office and mail it there.
So they say them little red flags now is the first thing that it's a flag to the thieves now.
Bad.
And there may be a bill in there. And if you have your bill, you have your address, your name, your checking account information.
They can get it all.
I mean, and you don't think of that, but on the bottom of your check is your checking account number.
Proving daily that common sense is a superpower. American heroes, Rick and Bubba.
6 minutes past the hour from the broadcast plaza, and teleport. A show and a half is all that is left. As the one thing that is constant is change. And of course, you can look for the broadcast plaza and teleport to find its way into Rick and Bubba history after tomorrow's big year-ender. And then we'll be on vacation for 2 weeks. You'll get Rick and Bubba best of shows. Then, Lord willing, we'll return on January the 4th in a brand new studio. And we will celebrate our 28th birthday. Speedy, the real Greg Burgess, Helmsy, and Adler all here and back after battling some sort of upper respiratory something. Bill Bubba Bussey.
Rick, glad to be here. And when I say I'm glad to be here, I mean it.
You are.
I really do.
We're glad you're here. Can't get anybody to kiss you today. Glad you're here.
No sugar today.
No sugar today. So we got a lot going on outside as the fans of the show come to say goodbye to the Broadcast Plaza and Teleport, the award-winning Broadcast Plaza and Teleport. So
a vision from many, many years ago, back 1998, 99.
A lot of.
I tweeted about it this morning.
Yeah, you did. I saw that. It's an emotional run right now.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're not the only people that are getting something new. The Birmingham Bowl's getting something new. And today, Mark Meadows has joined us. He's the executive director of the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl on December the 28th, 11 a.m. on ESPN. Auburn takes on Houston, and he joins us. So, Mark, welcome back to the Rick and Bubba Show.
Well, thanks. Glad to be here.
Mark, I was going to congratulate you on your book sales, but I realize that's a different Mark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's confusing when I'm listening to the radio and my name's on there.
So, Mark, we're moving to a new studio, and buddy, I'll tell you what, you guys have got yourself a brand spanking new stadium.
We are so excited. You know, this stadium has all the bells and whistles that the fans from both teams are kind of accustomed to at their home stadium, and so we're just happy to get down there and get this first game behind us. You know, there's a lot of planning goes into this with the BJCC team, but I think we're ready and we're excited about it.
Well, Auburn will come in from the SEC with boy, you talk about a team that went on a roller coaster ride this year, 6-6, and Houston of the American Athletic Conference, 11-2, and we're in the championship game against Cincinnati. So they've had a phenomenal season. So are you excited about the matchup?
I am. You know, we've had some great matchups through the years. You know, we've had an overtime game and several of them coming down to the last minute. So I think this one has a potential. You know, I think both teams are have an opportunity to score a lot of points, and so we're just excited to see what they bring. You know, the Houston was basically lost their first game and their last game, and like you said, could have been the conference champs if they win that last one.
I think Houston probably is going to come in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder if they didn't get more respect for the year they had, which, you know, would be a very dangerous situation for Auburn, I think.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this, Mark, because, the high school state championships were played in the new stadium, and Greg and his son coached on the staff of one of the teams that won the state championship, so he got to experience that. Speedy's been the stadium guy for UAB all year, so and then I was down there, not I guess it's been about 3 weeks ago, and I think it's pretty obvious that we love Legion Field and its history. But
saw many great games there, Rick.